Hello and welcome to the Ganru Show. I'm Golda.
And I'm Wanru.
And this is a podcast that's just like hanging out with your two best girlfriends.
It's like having the posture of a ballerina without actually having to do any exercise.
It's like having a Goldilocks handshake. Not too hard, not too soft, but just right.
It's like walking into the room like Idris Elba.
Oh,
Wow.
Let's just take a minute. Let's take a minute.
Take a minute. Okay.
In today's episode, we'll be mastering the art of body language.
And you'll find out if Golda could actually pass a lie detector.
Oh, I can. And you'll also find out how Wanru uses her elbows to her advantage.
Use it if you got it.
So, let's get started.
First up, me and Golda love to catch up in the segment we call
Girl, what you been up to?
So Golda, what have you been up to?
Girl, I've been trying to take care of our pet cat, Archie.
Okay, tell me about Archie.
Oh, our cat, Archie, our lovable daughter, Archie, or Archer, to those who don't know her as well,
Okay.
is 114 months old because I am that crazy parent that does it by months.
Okay.
But for the citizens out there that can't do the math as quickly as I can, that is 9.5 years old is our little Archie. Little Archie Bubba. So we took Archie to the vet the other day because we haven't taken her in a couple of years, actually.
Okay.
And we started noticing that she started to get fat.
Oh, no.
She never used to be overweight. She used to be a pretty svelte cat.
Yeah.
And then we just started noticing this her like in her stomach area. We just started noticing that it started to like wiggle, and there was like this like a little fat layer, kind of like, kind of loose, like a little flab.
Yeah.
And then when she would, usually when she gets up on like a table or gets up on a sofa or something like that, or on one of her toy castles, she's like a ninja. She would be very svelte, and you could hardly hear her when she would jump like a bionic cat to, these various places. And then we started noticing we could hear her when she would land.
Clunk.
Yeah, it was like
crash.
Poor thing. And also that we noticed that like she would have to like kind of scramble a little,
right,
just to get to, the armchair or to the table or to her little like castle, those little scratching post things.
Yeah.
She would have to jump, and then she would, then she'd make all this sound. Versus before she was, a lot more svelte. So anyway, we weighed her on our own like human scale, that we have here in the bathroom. And she's 12 pounds.
Is that a lot for a cat? I know nothing about cats.
Yeah,
so.
I think for a cat, her size and her build, she should be at around, they're going to argue with me on this, but approximately 8 or 9 pounds.
Okay.
So for a cat, she's about 3 or 4 pounds overweight. Mm-hmm. So we took her to the vet the other day nearby, wonderful veterinary hospital. And we were able to get her in, and she was not having it. She was not having it. We had to transport her in this cloth carrier, which is the best, by the way.
Okay.
And it is a 2-person process to get a cat in a cat carrier. They're very savvy when they want to get out of things. We put her in the cat carrier, and just walking her to the car, she was crying, and she was like, the sounds that were coming out of her little mouth.
What did it sound like?
She was like, kind of like a cow cat.
Yeah.
And she was talking to us like, what are you doing? What's happening? And it was heartbreaking. So thankfully, the vet is not that far away from our house. We got her to the vet, and there were other scared animals in the waiting room.
Classic.
And we were able to bring her in, and, interesting. We're very proud of the fact that we actually got her weight right, because when they put her on the actual cat dog scale that they have at the vet office, she was to the T 12 pounds.
Okay.
So they took blood from her. They had to. So first of all, they do like this like little like hand sort of. They're like being handsy with Archie, the doctor, to feel for any bumps or anything like that. And thankfully, at least from that little test, they didn't really feel anything. But we did do. They had to take her to the back. Not in front of me.
Ooh,
yeah, and not in front of her parents, because we would have just crumbled under the strain of seeing our child in pain. They took her to the back and they took blood. They did an x-ray on her. And then they were trying to do a urine sample. So I guess what they do is they stick like a needle in their bladder.
Oh my God.
Because it's not like you can tell the cat to go to the bathroom with a cup and say, can you give us a urine sample?
Yeah.
So they have to take it from them. And I didn't know this, but they apparently they weren't able to get any urine from Archie at all.
Okay.
They said her bladder was empty.
Okay.
So apparently cats don't really have a big bladder and they don't hold their pee in.
Okay.
Like humans do, right? They like when they have to go, they go. They just go. They're not holding it in. They're not like, oh, after this part of the show is over, they go when they need to. So she had gone that morning. So the doctor said, well, I really need urinalysis and the blood work in order to accurately give, what the next steps are for Archie. So, we can keep her here. It was about 10 a.m. by that time. She's like, we can keep her here until the afternoon and then we can try again later.
Oy.
Yeah. And we were like, oh no, we can't put Archie through that torture. She's already scared out of her mind.
Mm-hmm.
And then so they suggested the other way to get the urine sample was that we take Archie home, clean out her litter box, like clean it out, disinfect it, that whole thing. And instead of putting a litter in the litter box, to put newspaper.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then when she goes to pee the next time, they would give us a syringe.
And you go and collect it.
Yeah, we collect it. And then we have to drive over to the vet office right away because it can get contaminated.
Sure.
Right. And then they'll evaluate it from there. Or we can come back another day and have them do it. So we opted for coming back, some other time. So we're going to go back tomorrow and in the afternoon. So hopefully they'll be able to extract her pee. But I was thinking how much we love our furry family members, and how when they're in pain or if they're going through anything, how they can never really say anything, to us.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like Archie came up to me and says, Mama, I'm fat. You kind of have to pay attention to these things, right?
True. Yeah.
And take action. So we're anticipating, hopefully, knock on wood, everything comes back okay. And that all it is maybe just that she's getting older and she just needs her diet changed. And, she's just gaining weight because we feed her dry food. So I hear that wet food is actually less caloric and also is good for their hydration when you give them wet food. So that's the other thing about Archie that me and Archie have in common is we're both dehydrated.
Clearly, because you couldn't get any urine out.
Yeah. So anyway, that was my girl, what you've been up to. So just to kind of pay attention to these things from your furry family members.
Wait, so we don't have a verdict as to why she's gaining weight?
Well, according to the doctor, usually when cats age, if everything is still the same, in terms of how you feed them, it's usually because of their age and also because of dried food.
Yeah.
Dried food tends to be more caloric. And so they don't process it the same way. Meaning the cats don't. Yeah. Their metabolism slows down, just like humans.
Yeah.
Everything starts to kind of fall off. The wheels start falling off. So we just need to make an adjustment. So what we were feeding her and all the things that we were doing, we were exactly the same as when she was a teenager.
Gotcha.
Right.
But now she's what?
She's 114 months old.
Exactly.
So we'll see. So hold Archie in your good thoughts, everybody.
Okay, I will.
Yeah. And what about you, Wanru? What have you been up to?
So my dog has also celebrated a milestone. He turned 10 years old in March, which
Yay.
is 120 months.
120 months old. I could do that math in my head.
So according to dog years, he should be 70 years old.
Oh, wow. Really?
But he's not. I would put him probably around like a nice, robust 45.
45
years old.
Okay. Probably he looks like he's in his 30s.
You know what? He looks like he's in his 30s, but his soul is like that of an ancient tortured monk.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's always been this anxious.
He's an old soul.
Old soul.
Old soul dog.
Old soul.
Mhm.
But, your dog is aging. My dog is aging. Your cat is aging. And
Real quick sidebar.
yeah.
The one and only time I ever went to a psychic was from a discount, like, those people put ads on trees and you got those little tabs that come down.
Yeah.
My aunt took one of those and she took all of her sisters and me. And the only thing that the psychic said to me was, there are dead animals following you.
What does that even mean?
And I said, can I have my money back? Because that does me no good. So apparently I attract dead animals. The spirit of dead animal, which I consider a gift.
True.
I consider a gift.
If they're cute, furry friends, then
Yeah.
that's not so bad.
Yeah.
Better than like a creepy murdered guy or something like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So anyway, old soul Arnie.
So old soul Arnie, tortured soul Arnie is now 10 years old. But the good thing about our pets is they encapsulate a small portion of our lives.
Yes, they do.
So you see them aging and you see how well or not well they're handling it.
Yeah.
And it has taught me to cherish the moment and live in the present. So every moment I'm with my dog is a present.
Sure
His
is.
presence is my present. So I give him a pate cake. I buy him a Neutro pate, which is a very expensive dog food, by the way. It comes
Where
in
do you
those
get
little
that? In the
PetSmart.
PetSmart?
They come in these little
Okay.
tubs. I put it upside down. I light a candle and I celebrate his
Aww.
another year.
Happy birthday, Arnie. I did see the photos.
Yes,
They're
yes,
adorable.
yeah. So just remember that take care of yourself, take care of your pets, enjoy every single moment with them,
And
Yeah.
celebrate their momentous landmark birthdays.
Yeah, 120 months and 114 months.
Yeah.
So, girl, that's what we've been up to.
Our main topic today is about body language.
Oh, wow!
Like your entire body. They call it in business circles, they call it nonverbal communication.
Oh, I see.
That's the fancy term for body language. So, Wanru, you and I are going to chat about the importance of body language and how it can be useful in terms of how you want to communicate to others. It can also be useful in how you read body language in others. If you want to communicate a specific point, maybe what you should do.
Yeah.
And also the body language that could be used defensively as
Absolutely,
well, right?
Yeah. Body language is there for you to listen to. See?
Yeah.
The body is trying to tell you something. So for this podcast, we're going to explain to you the secrets that you've been missing, and you'll open up a whole new world of communication.
Yeah. Did you know, and I have no citation for this, but did you know that 70% of all communication is done non-verbally?
And what source are you citing for this?
I have no citation for this, except several articles that use the same percentage.
Okay, and it's so exact, 70%, exactly.
Meaning more than half, give or take.
All right, that's fine.
Right? More than half of any and all communication is done non-verbally.
Okay, all right. I can concede to that. That's why it's such an important topic. And this is such an interesting topic. We're going to go over how body language can help you or hinder you in these 4 areas: corporate/business,
Yeah.
courtship/dating.
Oh. Uh-huh.
What's the next one we have there?
How to spot a liar
Oh, that's so useful.
or someone who's lying.
And lastly, a very, very critical one, so tune until the end, how body language can save your life.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially in this day and age, you can never be too careful. You got to use everything at your disposal, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
All right. So first off, let's get into how body language plays in the corporate/business setting.
Absolutely. So in the corporate/business setting, I'm going to put it through a more specific filter, perhaps, in order to put this in parameters that I can communicate to all of you. And that is in terms of, because I'm in HR, as many of you know, I read body language every single day from candidates.
Yeah.
Right. And I also translate to how candidates act in an interview to maybe how you can act when you're in a work situation. Right.
Okay.
And it depends a lot on what you want your personal brand to be and how you want to come across. So let's just say, I'm just going to assume that a lot of folks out there want to come across as confident, capable, ready for that next challenge, smart, professional, not creepy, right? All of those things.
Not creepy is key to how I want to be perceived at work. Yes.
Exactly.
So what do you do?
I'm assuming that is how you want to be perceived.
Yeah.
So that being the case, I will say that the first thing that I look for is in terms of their full body language, right?
Oh, wow.
So how do you sit? How do you stand? How do you carry yourself? And the common rule of thumb is when you slump or you have bad posture, you're actually making yourself smaller.
Mm-hmm.
So in many ways, like if you look at the animal kingdom, it's the smaller ones, that don't want to be noticed, that are just like the monkeys, like the chimpanzees, that are just like off there, like eating berries and their small bananas. They don't want to take over the monkey kingdom. They just want their banana and call it a day.
How about this?
Right?
In every pack, there is always a silverback or alpha male.
Yeah.
How does he stand?
Takes up a lot of space. And actually, that is a proven scientific, many sightings for that, as far as when you take up a lot of space, that is your nonverbal cue to the rest of the world that you are dominant and you are confident.
Yeah.
Right? But you don't have to be a dick about it.
Exactly.
So you can still stand up straight, hold yourself up, carry yourself in a confident way. I think that's the first and foremost. And one of the ways to see how you carry yourself, other than looking in a mirror, because mirrors that can be tricky, is record yourself, videotape yourself.
Oh, wow. Okay. I never thought to do that.
And I look at our videos all the time, and I look at my posture and I'm like, wow, I need more calcium and vitamin D. That's number one. That's a whole separate issue. But in terms of just posture and how you carry yourself and how I might be thinking one way, but then my face is communicating it completely different. And that's, I feel like, I'm misleading maybe in how I'm presenting myself.
Actually,
right?
That's what I was it'll come up later, but your body will reveal things that your lips are not saying.
Oh.
So a very interesting point is I watch our YouTube videos.
Yep.
And sometimes I'm shaking.
Oh.
That's because I'm a very energetic person. And for me to sit here and talk, I'm actually containing some kind of physical energy. So you'll see that even though I'm talking to you and I'm in a seated position, I'm usually jiggling or wiggling my legs. I'm trying to release extra energy.
I see.
So going back to the business situation, let's put it into two categories, which we will call high status and low status.
Yeah.
Okay. These are not derogatory terms. One is not better than the other. You may decide to play up your high statusness or your low statusness.
Right.
Depending on who you're around.
Right.
Because sometimes you're maybe talking to someone who's a little more timid.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you want to lower your status so they feel more comfortable opening up to you, right?
Right.
So think of it as that silverback or that alpha male wolf. And then the wolf that's like slinking away like, can I have a little bit of bison, and at any moment he's just ready. So these are the high status versus low status body language things, which we actually project all the time.
Yeah.
But we're not aware of it. So let's go through the list of what some high status physical attributes would be. You said taking up space,
standing up straight, maintaining good eye contact.
Oh, critical.
Don't look up in the sky or over to the side or at your fingers.
Doesn't mean to stare them down. There's a spectrum, right? It doesn't mean like, okay, I'm going to
This is not a staring contest.
Bore my eyes into you. Just like a constant or, a comfortable constant stare. That sounds weird, but engaged eye contact.
Yeah.
Less physical body movements.
Yeah. More contained.
Yeah. More stillness.
Yeah.
Using less words.
Like a robot. So robots are the best business people.
Envision a robot. My director at work of quality control exhibits all the high status qualities. Not a surprise. He was quickly promoted to such a senior position. He's like Stonehenge, he's like that head that doesn't move. He just moves like a statue, right? And so he has very high status, whether he knows it or not.
There is a school of thought that says that the person who speaks the least in a meeting or in a conversation actually has more status and more power because they're observing and able to gain information by observation.
Absolutely.
And listening. Yeah.
Okay, what about low status attributes?
Low status. Yeah. Or here's another one. People with low status who try to have high status.
Oh.
Poor things. In a interview scenario, it's what I call the bone crusher handshake.
Oh.
Have you ever shaken hands with someone and they completely annihilate the bones in your hand?
I haven't, but I've experienced the wet.
With a wet handshake?
The wet, clammy, sort of weak, limp-wristed.
Oh, man. I just want to punch them in the belly button.
What am I supposed to do? Kiss your hand like you're the queen? What the hell?
What is that?
Their hands they just very limp-wristed and they put it in your hand like you're supposed to kiss it or something.
Yeah. So it shows a lot, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. So subtly or not so subtly, the bone crusher. I had this one lady I interviewed a couple of months back. And I didn't remember that I had interviewed her probably more than 5 years ago at another company for another position. I knew she looked familiar, but I interview and talk to a lot of people in a day's time and a week's time. So over the length of a year or years, everyone's a blur.
Yeah.
And I remember this woman coming in and I'm like, she looks familiar, but I couldn't place her. And and then she went in and grabbed my hand to shake my hand. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's that lady that I interviewed 5 years ago. That literally, once she let go of my hand after shaking it, I could still feel the pain of the handshake like 10 minutes later. That's how hard it was. It was a bone crushing handshake.
So let me ask you, because that's on the extreme side of dominance. Did that turn you off of her?
It did.
See?
Did.
You can't be too submissive if you can't be too dominant. You got to find that sweet spot.
Yeah. I mean, I think that she probably read all the interview books or all of the self-help like business books that said a firm handshake is the way to go. It sets the tone. But it was too much. And it's not like she was a petite woman.
Yeah.
She was a small framed woman and it was like someone with shards of glass was shaking my hand.
Overcompensating.
Totally overcompensating. And I think that in her effort to try to appear dominant, she lowered her status.
Okay, something to keep in mind. Yeah.
Yeah. And the other one is the fingertip grabber.
With a handshake.
With a handshake. The person who just kind of grabs your, not the clammy, that's different. The fingertip grabber, it's like they don't want to use your whole hand.
They don't want to touch you.
Do you have those? Have you ever hit
I have, yeah.
And I'm like, is it because maybe they're a germaphobe, maybe? I'm thinking. But actually, in body language books and resources out there, it's communicating their sense of a lower status.
Yeah. So let's go back to the lower status attributes. So what are some physical attributes of low status people?
Usually it's slumped. Taking up as little space as possible is usually a low status person. They might not be low status, but maybe that's how they perceive themselves to be also. That's one way of looking at it. Because there's plenty of powerful people out there that have low status posture. A lot.
Interesting.
But they're loaded and they're influential, right? But they're like low status. So maybe they feel like they're low status, but everyone knows how brilliant they are. Who knows?
Yeah.
But
bobbing of the head, tilting of the head, anything that your body's not square on. Meaning if you twist your body or tilt your head, make yourself smaller, any of those will make you more low status in the ranking of people.
Yeah, actually, I had a coworker of mine say to me the other day, she was talking to me about some initiative that she was going to introduce. And as I was listening, I tilted my head as I was listening. And she stopped what she was saying and she said, "Oh, you're doing the famous Golda head tilt."
Like the dog listening?
Yeah. Like, look at our YouTube page to see what I'm talking about. But I tilted my head as I was listening to her. And I never noticed that I did that. Never. No one has ever told me that. And she told me this. And then I started to be more self-conscious about it. And I caught myself tilting my head. And actually, according to body language experts, tilting of the head while listening to someone is an act of submission.
Oh, do you feel like you are being submissive to them?
I guess so. Maybe if listening is a submissive act, then yes, maybe that's what it was.
That's so funny because I find myself lying on my back and showing my belly. What does that mean?
Oh, that means you want a treat.
Oh, I don't want a belly rub. I want to be tickled.
Oh, maybe that's what it is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm a cat person, so it's different.
No. But back
dogs and cats.
Back to the low status thing. Yes. I'm going to add to there any fidgeting, any extra movement, and men and women out there, if you're at work, I know it's hard, try not to touch your face or your mouth.
Yes.
It immediately lowers you.
Yes.
It looks very unprofessional when you're biting your nails or your hangnails, or if you're just I've seen people go over and touch their lips over and over again, stroking their lips. I don't know why, maybe their lips are dry or something. I read in that book, what was the name of the book that?
I have a book here that I refer to that's really wonderful. It's called The Definitive Book of Body Language, the international bestseller by Alan and Barbara Pease.
And it's
we'll
useful.
Link it. Yeah. So but got some good stuff in there.
This book says that anybody who constantly touches their mouth, it's an act of self-soothing. Because, as babies, the way we soothe is we suckle or breastfeed or we suck our thumbs. So as an adult, if you exhibit that behavior, it immediately makes you you will be taken less seriously.
Yes.
Because you look fidgety.
Yes.
And you look like you're lacking confidence. So these are neither good or bad things. Use these tools as you see fit, right? Yeah. If you are a very intimidating person, try practicing, changing up your body language so that people can approach you.
Yeah.
If you're not being taken seriously at work, try working on your posture, holding your head straight, Golda.
Yeah, totally. So
try listening, using less words. It feels uncomfortable at first, right? But if you want to practice high status and professionalism, try that. And especially if someone's intimidating you at work, make sure your body language is high status so you can stand up to them.
Like how?
For example, someone is very verbally aggressive and they're coming. Yeah. Don't hunch your shoulders or turn your body sideways. I would actually say put your shoulders back, stand up straight. Make sure we're all doing it right now. Lift up your chin a little bit. You don't have to be looking down at them over your nose. That's like too much. That's like, I think I'm better than
Margaret
you.
Thatcher move.
But just engage them directly and see what happens. See if they back down. Yeah. And listen and don't talk and see what happens.
So that's an act of aggression or to kind of keep up or not lose your status. There's also certain things that are helpful in a business environment where you want to maybe influence.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Or you want to show them that, or sell them something or convince them of something. And then the tone changes to one of being someone who's more open. Yes. Right? Mm-hmm. And non-judgmental. Yes. Because people don't want to agree with a judgy person.
Yeah. So how do you do that? How do you appear more open?
So the way that you appear more open, or the way that you sort of lower the defenses maybe of the people in the room, a real quick way to do it is to mirror them. Yeah. Have you heard about that? Mirroring? which means that you imitate with some within reason. Okay, don't go crazy.
Like if the hand crusher starts crushing your hand, you don't go, I'm gonna crush your hand right back. It becomes like a death grip contest. No.
It's like Ninja Warriors. It's not that.
No, it's not.
Mirroring
like
their movement. Like
I'm mirroring Golda right now. She's getting very animated. I'm gonna get animated too.
Exactly. I'm doing Wanru, imitating me, but I think it's her. So mirroring lowers the defense of the person that you're mirroring, because they recognize the action of themselves.
Yeah.
Subconsciously, they recognize the action that you're doing.
And it puts them at ease.
Yes, exactly. That's one. Yeah. And the other thing is to put the other person at ease and help them feel like you're not judging them. So again, the things to not do that appear judgmental are putting your palm under your chin. Look at the YouTube to see what I'm doing here, but I'll try to describe it for the audio purposes as best as possible. But putting your chin rested on your hand and looking at the person, that makes you look seemingly like you're listening, but actually that is a signal that you are bored.
Oh, yeah.
And that's like, not going to engage the person. I'm so bored,
my head can't hold itself up, so I need to prop it up on something else.
Right. The other thing, a cousin to that, is you are resting your palm
under your chin.
And then maybe you're putting one of your fingers like rested on your cheek, kind of like, I'm listening. So this stance here looks seemingly like they're interested in their listening, but in actuality, what this is telling this person is that I'm faking that I'm interested, but I cannot wait until this person stops talking.
Wow, that's good to know.
Yeah. And if you look at some of our most well-known politicians out there, when this is what I always like to do, like when you see these hearings and stuff, don't look at the person talking. Look at the people that are listening to the person and see if they're doing this.
Yeah. That's good to know.
They're like, oh man, was this bozo going to stop talking? Right?
Yeah.
So it looks like they're listening, but they're probably just judging. So if you're trying to convince or you're trying to win someone over, that's another thing. The other thing is, if your purpose is to convince or influence, you need to even the playing field while still seeming confident. And one of the things to avoid is don't be too alpha about it. Otherwise, you will lower your chances of there being collaboration and openness to them agreeing with you. So one way that that kind of turns off people, but in certain cases might be used to your advantage depending on the scenario, is if you lean back on your chair and
put your arms behind your head.
Or if you put one of your arms behind the back of the chair next to you.
Because it looks too casual.
It looks too casual, and it looks like it's a seemingly air of superiority, right? In other words, tell me something I don't know. Right? Yeah. Or I know more than you do. And nobody likes to hear that.
Yeah, exactly.
Even if you do, who cares? Nobody wants to hear it or see it. Right. So in terms of negotiations or trying to diplomacy, right, sort of objectives, maybe steer away from that kind of thing. One thing to do a lot of is to nod.
Yeah, I'm nodding right now listening to Golda. If you want to have someone agree with you, just start nodding. Golda, you want to make me a sandwich, right?
I do want you to wash my car while I make you your sandwich.
See, we're both in agreement.
We have very low stakes manipulation techniques.
But nodding helps the person that you're listening to feel heard. So it's a good technique if you want to connect with somebody, I think.
Yes.
These are all great tips. So the next time you have a corporate meeting, take a look around.
Yes.
See how people are are responding to what's being said,
Yes.
their body language will tell you everything you need to know.
Yeah, I have this. I had this one coworker who used to play with her hair all the time.
Oh my God, what does that mean?
During meetings, just kind of like play with it and be like looking at it for the split ends. You know, even when she was talking, she would do this. She would do this while she was talking, and she would do this while she was listening.
Does anybody take her seriously?
I think kind of split down the middle. I would say
like a split end.
Like a split end, a really bad split end, deep in the root.
But imagine how much better she'd get her point across if she didn't do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So
keep
just
it
be
in mind.
mindful. Yeah. Now, the next topic we wanted to get into in terms of ways that we show our body language was in courting.
And dating.
Ooh. Do you want to talk about that, Wanru, or am I talking about that?
You're talking about that as well. But
I am?
Basically,
okay.
For a heterosexual relationship or for any kind of relationship, you can play up the masculine attributes of yourself and the feminine attributes of yourself, right?
And you can also non-verbally communicate romantically without having to spill the beans.
Exactly.
And therefore save face, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. So what are some body cues, some body language cues you can give to show your interest in somebody?
Well, I like to say that everything that we need to learn about the courting and romance game, we can learn from music videos.
Which one specifically?
Specifically, Jennifer Lopez, both fast and slow music videos. So if you notice,
like Waiting for Tonight,
and she's touching her her face and
think
her
about
neck,
her.
and her like, right?
Think about that video. First of all, she's not full on. She's got her shoulder to the camera.
Yeah,
her eyes are looking down.
Her chin is down, and her eyes are looking up. Right?
She's showing you the curve of her back and her ass.
Yeah.
Right?
And then she's touching herself. Right.
All over.
Let's say you're at Trader Joe's and you see somebody at the hummus aisle
and
looks good.
You're in the frozen food aisle.
Yeah.
What
and
do you
you're
do?
Like, wait a minute now. How do I get that person's attention?
You look at them, you turn your back.
Or her.
Arch. Yeah.
Yeah. This works on everything.
You just start arching and twisting.
Yes.
And chin down, and then you reach into the frozen food section.
You reach in
pop that
for
booty.
the gyoza.
Orange chicken.
Right? And then you lift the orange chicken or the gyoza plastic crinkly bag close to your face as if
you're going to stroke it all over your body.
As if you have a burn on your cheek. So you lift, you tilt your head up, and then you gingerly place the gyoza bag next to your cheek.
And then you go, oh, my hand is so damp. And you wipe it up and down your pant leg, right?
Right.
Touching
or you
yourself.
Wipe it on one of your cheeks. Right? But you're going to arch your back.
Is this too much for Trader Joe's? It's a bit much.
You're going to think twice about the gyoza bag, though, right? Like, where has this bag been?
Okay, we're joking.
Anyway.
But you can scale it down, okay?
Yeah.
Instead of a 10, be a 1. You don't have to be like Jennifer Lopez in a sparkly bodysuit. But you can employ these techniques.
I'm telling you, though, Wanru, everything you need to learn about seducing or working in the romance department, you can learn from a music video. So one of the things that they say is to self-touch.
Self-touch, what does that mean?
In order to communicate to the other person that you're interested in them. So it doesn't have to be like a porn movie, okay? It doesn't even have to be, just think about like PG-13 music video, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So whether that's just like, oh, yeah, maybe not the face, but like, oh.
Golda's stroking her
I'm stroking my upper breastplate area where the CPR would happen. So in the CPR,
you look like
that's
you're brushing crumbs off of your chest. Like, oh, I ate a bunch of crackers.
It's like you have feathers on top of your breasts,
and
you're just like this. Like that is sexy.
Okay.
Come on.
Let's scale it back.
Back me up here,
Let's scale it back. All right, let's talk about your hair touching lady. That's not good for the boardroom, but it might be good for like the bar or
in a romance
Whole Foods.
situation.
Yeah.
Right?
A little twisting of the hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey.
Or a little what? This is not sexy at all, but I use a lot of hand lotion. Maybe you can do hand lotion and start rubbing.
You're like, ooh, lemon verbena. Ooh. Right? But you have to match the sexiness with your facial expression as well. There's a lot of coordination that needs to happen, I feel.
You can't have a stone face and try to rub lotion on and just give the death stare to someone. That's not sexy.
Not sexy.
That's not sexy. That's pervy. But okay, how about this? I'll give you some real tips.
Yeah.
Okay, you're sitting at a bar or wherever. Your dentist's office.
Okay.
Okay, you see a cute guy.
Yeah.
What you do is you're just going to cross your leg one way.
Okay.
Deliberately. And then you cross your leg the other way. Oh, hey.
As if you have a UTI. Why is that lady always crossing her legs?
She's squirming in her seat.
There, she has to pee.
And now she's putting
What
on
is that a signal
She's
of?
putting on lotion for the 20th time. What is she trying to?
Is there a little E. coli action going on there, maybe? So maybe not that.
No, but crossing your legs is one of, and uncrossing your legs.
I say do this.
Golda's using her two fingers.
I'm judging the crossing the fingers
to put under her chin and on her eye. But actually crossing and uncrossing your legs is one of the sexiest things because it draws attention to your legs.
Right. And then there's that muscle, right? That little like thigh leg muscle, right?
Yeah. So what can men do to appear sexier? Like, hey, I'm into you. None of this works for them. The J-Lo.
I would say look like you're listening. That's sexy.
Okay, how about this? According to this book, lower your voice.
Men lower their voice like this.
I actually have a little tip for men. Actually, women will die if you talk to them like you're going to tell them a secret. But it could be anything.
Oh, what do you mean? Like, for example?
Hey, Golda.
What?
Golda.
Can you speak up, please?
I don't mean lower your voice, like making it softer, like lower, like
the register.
The register.
The register. Okay.
Obviously, I wasn't doing it good enough.
Sorry. Go, let's start over.
Hey, Golda.
Hi.
Did you know that right now in the vending machine, 2 Doritos bags are stuck in one spot? If you put $1, you'll get 2 bags of Doritos instead of 1.
Oh my God, you're so hot that you're so
I just
cheap.
Wanted to let you know that. Have a good day.
Wait.
Yeah.
What's your name?
Yeah. See, you make it sound like it's a secret.
You know me so well because the 2 Doritos stuck together would get my attention.
You gotta know your
price of 1?
You gotta know your market as well.
Know your audience.
Know your audience. No,
yeah.
It allows you to do 3 things. It allows you to, number 1, lower your voice. Because why are you lowering your voice for no reason unless it's a secretive type of thing?
Yeah.
It allows you to get a little closer to the woman.
Yeah.
And people love secrets. And that girl will be like, oh my God, you're a secret.
Yeah.
Things like that. And also it allows you to maybe get a little physically closer to her. Did I mention that?
Yeah. Although I will say it depends on your level of attraction to the person who's doing this. Because I have seen this technique from unattractive people and I in no way want to be closer to this person. They'll be like, hey, Goldie, can I tell you something real quick?
And
they'll be all like, and I'm like, I have to pee. I'm going to say the most unattractive thing just to kind of get the scent off. But yeah, it depends, right? And how you say it and
And then, of course, for men, to stand up straight because it projects dominance, right? It projects status. So, speak less, direct eye contact. Those are all potentially great ways to, attract a female. But again, don't take it over to the extreme edge, extreme puffing your chest out, extreme staring, extreme getting too close. That's a no-go.
Yeah, no go. And I would also say that something that I thought was interesting, but now that I think about it, may actually be true. But in these body language experts talk about how when you expose your wrists, the inside of your wrists, that's actually a sign of attraction, or that you want, some more action. So exposing your wrists.
How are you going to do that naturally?
I think there was a picture of someone holding like a drink or like a cigarette or something.
Oh my God.
And they're like this, or holding their drink
with the wrist out.
With the wrist is out.
Look at me while I eat this Twix bars. Holding it with my wrist facing outward and munching it on the side of my mouth. Who eats a Twix bar like that?
I don't know, but I'm pretty sure if this is true, that exposing your wrists shows that you're attracted to that person, then cops must think that you're attracted to them all the time. I give up. Copper, as you're like holding your hands up.
You know who's always showing their wrist to me?
Who?
Those crosswalk people at the school. You know, they're always holding their hand up at me and they're like, come on, let's go, right?
They're so flirty.
Those people, they're waving their hands left and right.
Well, you know, the other thing you can think about is, you know, when you think about like, you know, when you put perfume on, where do you put it, right? These pulse points that they call it, these pulse points, they put it on the wrists, right? Maybe that's another indication of why they do that. The wrists are sexy.
Oh, and then you know what? Women, you can expose your necks. So like throwing your head up when you laugh, it'll show your neck more.
Do that again? For those of you who don't know what she's doing, Wanru is laughing and flipping her hair back and exposing the side of her neck.
Okay, you
not
do it.
Not the front of the neck. Because people don't want to see that. Because then that's another communication that shows superiority. If you did this, showing the neck,
putting your chin up all the way,
the front of the neck shows superiority versus what you do is the side of the neck.
Or you do it. You throw your head back and show me show me the side of your neck.
Okay.
It's a different effect when Golda does it. It's different.
I'm a taken woman. I'm out of practice. What can I say?
How about this? Can you? Because I think what happened is you twisted away from me. And
I'm supposed to do it to you?
Can you twist your neck towards me? I couldn't see your neck.
Oh, okay. All right. I was doing it to the camera. Okay, ready? Right. And
okay.
Just for visual purposes, my neck is a little bit sweaty. So the hair is sticking to the neck while I'm exposing it. Is that sexy? I don't think it might. Well, maybe to some people it could be, but I don't think it would be.
You know what? You take whichever moves you're comfortable with and you just work with it.
You just practice. Just practice until it becomes natural for you, or you know, if you want to do it, who cares? Yeah. Just, you know, here's some things to think about.
Exactly. Yeah. And most importantly, women and men, feel confident and sexy in your body, because there's nothing more sexy than somebody who feels good in their body.
Yeah,
right?
And confident. Totally, confidence is really, really sexy.
In your body.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fake it until you make it.
Fake it till you make it.
All right.
All right.
Well, I learned a lot of great tips.
That's a good one. One last thing.
Oh, what? What's that?
Is fiddling with something and touching an object in a cylindrical fashion.
No. Touching a cylindrical object in a sensual fashion. Not touching
a cylindrical. So it doesn't have to be cylindrical.
No. Touching
it should be cylindrical.
A cylindrical object in a sensual fashion.
Okay.
So she's got a water bottle here.
You got a water bottle. It's cylindrical.
Show me how sensually you can touch this.
Oh.
She's just treating it like you would like a mouse. She's slapping it now. That is
just touch it, you know. I think people like that, apparently.
Apparently, men like it when you touch cylindrical
Women, not so
objects.
much. I don't think this is sexy for a woman.
I don't think so either.
Like if someone, but you know what people do? That they're holding a wine glass. How many times have you seen this in a movie, right?
Oh, and a woman strokes the stem.
Yeah, or the top and like the lip. What is it called? The rim. Like she's like, oh my gosh, so I'm a nurse, you know, or whatever. Oh my God, I went through so much traffic to get here today. But you're not listening to what she's saying. You're looking at what she's doing, right?
Yeah. So actually, that's another tip. You can draw attention to the body parts that you like, that you feel good about by self-touching those parts.
What's your favorite body part that you would want someone to look at? Wanru?
My cerebellum.
Is that a band from the South? No, that's Lady Antebellum. What's a cerebellum? For those of you who don't know, because I obviously do know.
My prefrontal cortex. I'm talking about my brain.
You want them to see your brain?
Yeah. So what do I do? Do I just stroke my forehead a lot? Or what do I do?
For someone to see your brain?
Because you're saying, how do you highlight the part that you want people to see?
Wear a turtleneck?
Why?
They're not going to look anywhere else. You're sort of, you know, making it more focused to this area.
Let's do an exercise. Okay,
Maybe wear a scarf around your face And then just to expose your eyes and in your forehead?
Okay, all right, let's do an exercise. I'm going to pick my elbow because my elbow is not at all attractive. So I'm going to pretend to be on a date and you describe what I'm doing. I'm going to try to draw attention and make my elbow sexy on a date. Okay, you describe what I'm doing, okay?
So hi, Wanru, good to see you. Your photo on Coffee Meets Bagel didn't do you any justice.
Oh, thanks. Now describe what I'm doing.
So Wanru is folding her sleeves up, smiling, fiddling with her hair and pointing her elbow at me, but while looking away. So, hey, I got a lemon tree. I got to remember to bring you a bag of lemons the next time I see you.
I love lemons. Thank you so much.
I couldn't help but notice your elbows.
Oh, really? Oh, these old things?
They're super clean.
Oh, thank you so much. I take a lot of care. I put a lot of creams on them.
Yeah.
All right, so that's it. That's an example of me finding a body part and accentuating it.
Yeah.
You certainly were aware of my elbows.
I was very aware of her elbows. Okay. So, pick something, lead with your strengths.
Lead with your strengths. Yeah. Exactly.
Okay.
All right.
So we're down, we business check, communication, dating, courtship, body language, check. Next is how to spot a liar.
Yeah.
This is handy.
This is so useful.
How is this handy though?
You can use it anytime you want. You can use it in a work situation, dating situation, be really helpful, family situation. This is based on Pamela Meyer's TED Talk, How to Spot a Liar, which has millions of views.
Okay.
Her book is also really good. It's called Lie Spotting, Proven Techniques to Detect Deception. That's hard to say. But regardless, these are just little tools. And, you don't have to grill someone like an FBI agent with like a lamp in their face to find out what you want to know. They're telling you already. You just got to pay attention. So are you ready for the clues she gives to spot lying?
Let's hear it.
So there's verbal clues, there's physical clues, and there's also behavioral clues.
Okay.
So the verbal clues are any change in speaking pattern where it's overemphasis and it gets excessively formal, like I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Monica Lewinsky.
Most people say, I didn't do it. Not, I did not. It's like overly formal, right? Overly emphatic.
I did not eat that last chicken finger.
I did not eat the last remnant of the dairy confection, Ben & Jerry's.
Oh,
so it's very formalized, right? It's like, and you did a good example with the chicken fingers as well.
Got it.
All right. Too much or too little detail.
Okay.
Sometimes people provide too much detail. I'll give you an example of that later.
Okay.
So look for any changes in the communication style, speaking. In terms of body language, she had a great quote, which is, your body gives away what you're thinking. So your lips may be sealed, but your body will tell everything. So there's either going to be too much or too little eye contact. Some liars, they will purposely stare at you when they're lying to make it seem like they're being direct, but they're staring too much. Okay. Too much or too little blinking.
Oh,
right.
Blinking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Moving too much, twitching too much, or being too still.
Wow, it's just opposite extremes.
It is, yeah.
Okay.
So, and then I'll tell you how to employ these techniques at the very end. And the last one, which is their behavior. So usually most people, if you ask them about an incriminating thing that might have happened, they're usually very cooperative. They'll be like, what happened? Tell me more. Who could it be? Okay. People who are lying will do the opposite. They will try to restrict or block you from exploring that idea, actually. And then I'll give you an example of that a little bit later as well. So the way to start this technique is you're going to start with neutral questions, and then you're going to start getting into more probing questions and see how their behavior changes. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So let's do a little role playing.
All right.
So do you want me to be the liar?
I think you should be the liar.
Right.
Okay.
And so let's do a scenario which actually happened to me in real life, which is someone ate my last cupcake that I had in the fridge with my name on it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'll be the guilty culprit. I'll be the guy who...
And I'll be you.
Yeah. Or you could just be anybody who's trying to figure out who ate this cupcake. All right. Okay. And I'm going to try to show all these liar traits, and let's see if you can spot them.
So let's review really quickly what those liar traits are.
Okay. So verbal dodging, which is going to be overemphasis and formal language, or too much or too little detail. Okay. Body language, too much or too little eye contact, moving too much or being too still. And lastly, cooperation. Behavior-wise, are you going to brainstorm and think of something that might help solve the problem, or are you going to roadblock? Okay. And lastly, you're going to end by asking me whether or not the person should be punished, like what the punishment should be. And that will give you an indication of whether or not they're the person who did the crime.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Gotcha.
So I will be a person who potentially could have eaten a cupcake.
Okay.
And you'll be the interrogator.
And I will encourage those of you who are listening to our podcast on your favorite podcast provider to supplement this episode with watching our YouTube page, The Ganru Show, for further effect to fully get the full picture here.
And this will be over dramatized just for instructional purposes.
And because it's more fun.
And it's more fun. Okay, so start with the neutral questions and then you can ramp them up and start grilling me a little more.
Okay, so the neutral questions. Hi, Bob.
Hey, what's up, Golda?
Well, you know, I was having a good day until I went to the fridge to eat my cupcake that I had saved for my snack, and now it's gone.
Who likes cupcakes? I eat chips.
Oh.
Chips are good.
I love chips. I love chips too. Who could have done this?
Oh, I don't know. There's many people that work here that like chocolate cream cupcakes. I don't know. There's a lot of people who like chocolate cream cupcakes with raspberry filling. You know, there's a lot of people who like that.
Wow. That's so funny you should say that, because that's exactly the type of cupcake that I had.
What? That's what Mary said. Mary said the same thing.
Mary?
Yeah, I saw her in the kitchen. She was there. Mary was in the kitchen. I saw her there in the kitchen.
I don't even remember talking to Mary about this now that I think about it. Huh. I mean,
who knows? Sorry, Golda. Whoa, what a day. Anyways.
Wow. I mean, I don't know. This has never happened to me before. Has anybody ever stolen any of your food, Bob?
What? Oh, I don't even know how I would feel if someone stole my food. No one's ever stolen, but I would be mad.
What would you do if you were me? What can I do?
Oh, maybe I just let it go. Maybe it wouldn't be that serious.
But I really love this cupcake. I mean, I had to order special ingredients that took like 2 weeks to get to me. The dry ingredients took 2 weeks. I was really looking forward to eating this.
I did not eat a cupcake.
I wasn't implying that you did. Why are you saying that? Can I ask you, Bob? You're seeming pretty worried.
Right.
It's making me think
I gotta go back to work. I'll talk to you later.
Let me ask you something, Bob, real quick. Did you eat my cupcake?
I have to go back to work, Golda, but I hope you find whoever this person is that would eat a cupcake.
And what should I do? What should I do if I find this person? What can I do? What punishment should I give this person?
I think you should just take it easy on him. Maybe he had a rough day. She or that person, whoever. All right, so this was extremely exaggerated.
Very good.
Extremely.
Very good.
What did you spot that I was doing?
You were doing all of the things, the verbal dodging, the verbal emphasis. You were doing a lot of detail about the cupcake when I didn't even volunteer any information about the cupcake. You did not look at me at all. You were looking away or looking in every which way but at me. You moved a lot. And when I asked you what should be done, you were just very dismissive about it. Like, oh, it's okay. Don't worry about it.
Oh,
no punishment needed. Just let it go.
And did you notice I was trying to showcase that my mood was like fluctuating. I went from like extremely like upset about it to like, oh, it's nothing.
Yeah.
To like, look at that. Oh, let's talk about something else. It was my tone was not consistent. Right.
And you were interested at first and then you just couldn't wait to get away from it.
Exactly. I was shifty.
You were shifty.
I was physically shifty as well.
Yeah.
Whoa, that gives you the mind like a.
That's interesting.
It kind of was like exploring the mindset of a liar, and man, I felt like a lot of stress.
Yeah, as the liar. So for a liar, it's stressful for them.
It is.
So you look for the clues that they look stressed out. Maybe.
Exactly, the stress will actually come out in their body.
But what about those psychopaths who lie all the time and they can keep like their blood pressure the same, or
their blink rate the same?
Yeah. Or what if you want someone to know that you're lying? So you can also use this to make people think that you're lying to them.
Oh, Golda, love that blouse on you.
Or this could be for evil purposes. But if you wanted to show that you are lying,
like how?
Like, for example, sort of like reverse psychology, where you want someone to know that you're lying, which is something like, okay, this is horrible.
Okay, go for it.
But if in a heterosexual relationship, if someone said, you're still in love with your old boyfriend, aren't you?
Yeah, and then what would you say?
And then you would say, let's say that you are.
Okay, this is very convoluted.
Let's say that you are still in love with your old boyfriend, but you want to show that you are not.
What?
This is too complicated.
It's too complicated.
I saw this on TV once, and I'm remiss in being able to illustrate it today.
Okay. How about this? Let's now do the scenario where you are an innocent person, which should be easy for you to play, right?
I'm an innocent person?
Yeah, you really didn't eat the cupcake. You're keto.
Oh, okay? Yeah. Why would I eat the cupcake?
Okay, all right. So I'm going to do the situation where I'm going to accuse you of eating a cupcake and you're truly innocent.
Okay.
So just portray your natural self, which is that you're innocent. Okay?
Okay.
Here we go. Hey, Golda.
Hi, Wanru.
Something bad happened to me.
Oh, no. What?
Someone ate the cupcake I had been saving all week.
Oh, no. Really?
It had my name on it.
Oh, why would somebody do that?
I don't know. They're just so inconsiderate. You didn't see anything, did you? I saw you in the break room like 5 minutes ago.
No, I didn't see anybody in here. I was just washing my Tupperware. I had curry. I didn't see anybody.
She's just looking really cute. That's why I'm laughing.
I didn't see anybody.
I can't even continue with this interrogation because she's looking so cute. And she's washing her curry.
For my glass Tupperware, because I don't use plastic.
Okay, so you didn't see the cupcake that I had? It was chocolate and had my name on it. There was a box in the fridge. You didn't see this?
I think I saw. Do you have a Tupperware that's kind of like a cloudy kind of Tupperware?
Yeah, that's it.
I didn't see what it looked like, but it looked like the shape of a cupcake.
And you didn't see anyone touching it or eating it or anyone in the break room who might have taken it?
I didn't notice. Sorry, Wanru. I just think the best of everybody. I don't think people are stealing stuff.
So what should I do? Like, if I catch this person, how should this person be punished?
You should totally tell the office manager. And maybe she can send out an email to everybody to say that be mindful and respectful of other people's food.
Because that sucks, right?
It sucks. I hate that. One time I bought a whole package of Nathan's hot dogs. And I only had one more left, and I was looking forward to eating it when I got home. And guess what? My girlfriend ate it. And I told her not to eat it, like for weeks, because I was going to get to it. And she ate it, and then I couldn't eat it anymore. I hate it. I hate when people do that.
Okay, perfect classic example of an innocent person. So from beginning to end, same sort of emotion, which is surprised. Like what? I can't believe it, but empathetic.
Yeah.
You're like, oh man, that sucks.
Yeah.
Pretty much the whole way through, her tone was, oh man, that sucks.
Yeah.
Right? It didn't shift at all.
Right.
And then she was very helpful with details. She was like, she didn't know too much. It was just the right amount of detail. I said, did you see my cupcake? You're like, oh, I think I saw Tupperware. Is it cloudy? I think. I mean, it wasn't like, oh, the blue lidded Tupperware with the 2 crumbs of chocolate crumbs on the bottom. It wasn't too much detail.
Yeah.
And it wasn't too little either.
So you're saying that when they do too much detail, they're sort of overcompensating their guilt.
They sure are.
Right? They're trying to cover it up.
Yes. And then you certainly weren't too little detail where you're like, I don't open the fridge. I don't go near the fridge. What fridge? That's too extreme on the other side, right?
Yes.
You acknowledge that you had actually seen it.
Right.
And lastly, you talked about you were very empathetic in shared situations where something bad happened to you, which was also very helpful in clearing your guilt.
Yeah.
And lastly, you had a very reasonable punishment for the person who could have taken my cupcake.
So when I asked you as the guilty person, when I was playing the person who had the cupcake that was stolen, and I asked you, did you steal the cupcake? So what do you do in a scenario where you actually confront the person and ask them straight up, did you do this?
Yeah.
How do you, then what? Yeah,
if you know that they're lying by their body language, but they're saying something different, it's up to you, right? Because they obviously are making a deliberate choice. They're lying to you. So it'll be up to you to decide what to do with that information. But at least you have that information.
At least you know what to look for.
Know, right? You know, girl, you in your mind, you know what the truth is.
That's so interesting.
Which is you're a cupcake stealer, Danny Huang.
Ooh. She totally called you out.
I outed
him. Called you out.
Danny. Okay.
Danny Wong, the cupcake stealer. That's not a good reputation, man.
Anyway, so that
not
encompasses how to spot a liar. Really useful,
awesome.
Right?
Oh, totally useful. And useful in so many different ways. So, someone steals your food at the office. If you interview people like me, knowing when people are BSing you.
Contract negotiations, any big purchase. Someone's trying to sell you something like their house or their car. Pay attention.
Yes.
Oh, I would also say anytime you are in a tricky social situation.
How so? Tricky social situation.
You're with a bunch of people and you're in a group and people start changing their body language when they describe certain things that are going on in their life. They may be trying to cover something up.
Oh.
That would be interesting to know who's lying about their personal lives, right?
Social experimentation. Very effective tool. Interesting. Yeah. Okay. I would use it at Ralph's in the produce department when I asked the produce guy, do you got any fresh strawberries in the back? And he says, we're out of stock.
Nectarines are delicious right now. Did you know there's 2 types of nectarines, fuzzy and smooth? You might like the smooth ones.
Yeah, very, very useful.
Yeah.
For an abundance of scenarios.
Exactly.
Awesome. Yeah. Okay. And then the last thing that you were going to talk about, Wanru, is how body language or learning how to read body language or how to actually be to communicate via your body language can save your life. Tell us more.
So this is definitely a Ganru PSA. This is a very serious segment. So we've gone through all these other segments and they're just really fun.
Okay.
But there was a podcast I listened to. It really, changed my life. But the speaker was Gavin DeBecker, and he is a violence expert. He's a U.S. expert on preventing and managing violence in the United States. His book is called The Gift of Fear and Other Survival Signals That Protect Us from Violence. So to give you a little background on Gavin DeBecker, his father was extremely abusive. He was an alcoholic. Mm-hmm. So he grew up in this environment of violence. And when he went to school, he decided he wanted to go into the criminal justice system.
Okay.
And his whole life is studying violence and violence patterns. And he felt it was so important to share this information because it could save lives. So I'm going to share this information now. Okay. And these are statistically proven things. These are things he's seen over and over again studying crime. And the most important thing is he wants to tell women, specifically women, but it can apply to men and women, anybody who's vulnerable, which is trust your fear and your gut because it can save your life. Okay. The reason why he focuses on women is because women in the United States and around the world are the most common victims of violent acts. It's usually men committing it against women. Okay. So just statistically, women are more likely to experience violent acts against them. Okay. But it could be anywhere. It could be a man, you're walking, traveling someplace, and you get a feeling, a prickle, like a tingling feeling or like that gut feeling of fear.
Yeah, that something's not quite right. Right.
Trust it, believe in it, embrace it. And don't be afraid to be polite. Don't be afraid that you're going to be rude. And he gives a lot of examples in his books. And these are like true stories of what have happened. Yeah. Like a woman was in a parking garage and she was waiting for the elevator to go up and she saw a man walking towards her. Okay. And her instinct was, I should push that button and close the door. And she didn't because she was afraid of appearing rude. And he entered the elevator and he ended up later attacking her. Ooh. But she knew it. She knew it just from the way he was walking into the elevator. Her whole body knew it. She felt the fear. Okay. Another scenario, this is a case of a man. He was an off-duty police officer. He went into a gas station, just, like whatever, to buy some items or pay for his gas. He walked in. There was a clerk and there were a few other customers. He got a horrible feeling in his gut. He turned around, he didn't make his purchase, and he walked out. Okay, this is a full-grown adult man, all right? This is a strong, capable man, but he had fear, and he walked out. Within 10 minutes, there was actually a person in there who was about to commit a robbery, and within 10 minutes, he had taken the gun out and shot everybody in that convenience store. Oh, no. Okay, so later on, because they reviewed the footage, and they saw that this police officer had walked in and walked out. And they're like, how did you know? How did you know to do it? Okay. And Gavin de Becker says, your intuition is the gift that your body's giving you because it's knowing without knowing why. But you see, your body's always collecting things. Your subconscious is always collecting information. You can't process it. Your brain doesn't process and your logic isn't as quick. Yeah. But your gut will know within an instant because it can sort of take everything in. And it's going to relay a message to you if you listen to it. Got it. And what this police officer realized is he walked in, everything looked normal, but what his body picked up was the clerk was extremely tense. And there was another man in the convenience store with a big, bulky jacket on. And it was kind of a hot day. Okay? So he didn't know what was going on. He just came in, he got a vibe, and he's like, oh, I just don't feel right about this. I'm going to go back to my car. I don't need to buy this thing. He went back in the car and the robbery occurred within 10 minutes after that. So he saved his own life by doing that. Wow. So this is body language in terms of your body telling you something that you have to listen to. Yeah. Okay. So it's not like other people's body languages, but you can pick up on that too. Like, in that case, that clerk, right? Yes. That was a big one. Exactly. He picked up on the clerk. Or in the case of the woman who was in the parking garage, here's a man walking towards her. How does she know? How does she know, right? She just knew it. She just felt it because there's something about his body language that she picked up like almost instinctually. Okay. So that is my PSA for this whole thing, which is don't be afraid to be rude. Don't be polite. You get that gut feeling of fear, just turn around, get out of that situation. Yeah. Get yourself out of that situation. It's better to be rude than to suffer the consequences of something that can go bad within seconds. Yeah, and I also, I want to say I read somewhere as well in terms of advice to folks who might be in situations where someone's either verbally or physically attacking them or looking like they might. It's that whole concept of taking up space. Oh. So the more space that you take up, it might not, it might not dissuade someone from attacking you, but it might make them think twice about attacking you, right? Exactly, yeah. So when you think about it, humans are animals, right? And, there's a lot we can learn from animal behavior. Yeah. And in terms of physical communication, the more space that we take up, if someone's trying to bully somebody else, I mean, how many YouTube videos have you seen out there where someone's bullying somebody on a subway? Right? Or on the street saying, so-and-so go back to wherever he came from, blah, blah, hateful stuff. Right. And it's, what do you do in those situations? Right. Where it's very clear cut that this person is wanting to either mentally harm you or physically harm you. And how do you either approach this defensively or offensively too?
right?
Yeah. And actually, that was a great example of the Subway, because there's a hero on YouTube called Doritos Subway Guy. Have you heard of Doritos Subway Guy?
Speaking of Doritos.
Speaking of
this
Doritos.
Is a theme. I think that there are dream sponsors for today.
This was not sponsored, but Doritos was a champion in this situation as well.
What happened?
So 2 men were getting into a verbal altercation on the subway.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a guy off to the side. He's just eating a bag of Doritos.
Okay.
And the altercation was getting heated. Doritos guy, without looking at either, again, no eye contact. So he wasn't trying to be aggressive. He wasn't trying to engage. He just kept eating his Doritos, and he just stood between the 2 guys and physically blocked them from looking at each other.
Did he do that on purpose?
Yes. It was a deliberate move. Like, he just kept eating his Doritos, and he just walked over in between, and the 2 guys were going at it, and it was getting physical, and he just blocked them. I mean, he took a few shoves for sure, but he just kept eating the Doritos.
Oh, man.
And using his body language like, hey, chill out. I'm not fighting with you guys, but I don't want this to escalate. And God damn it, Doritos are delicious.
Yeah.
and
you could smell the Doritos cheese within maybe arm's distance.
Exactly. So he's actually a body language hero.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, that was really, really wonderful that you shared that PSA, the how to save your life, by listening to your instincts and being in tune with those instincts, and don't judge yourself as being paranoid or anything. Self-preservation, right?
Yeah. And one last PSA is, if you're a mom or a dad and you have a bad feeling about someone hanging around with your kids, don't hesitate to ever eliminate this person from your life. Okay? And additionally, if you're a teacher or you're around children and there are children who are troubled, don't be afraid to tell somebody, because it's actually attention that they're seeking. So just be mindful, trust your gut in those situations, and better safe than sorry.
Well, really great, Wanru. I feel like we covered, there's so much more that we can get into. So many things. I was looking at just photos of people in pulp culture or historical folks, historical figures, and their body language and what they were communicating non-verbally, and it's a fascinating topic, and I think we just touched upon these 4 main categories that are of an interest to us. Let us know what you think about body language and what you do, and what you've maybe observed on our website. You can email us or reach out to us on Facebook or Instagram, and we'd love to hear more.
Here is a segment of products we love. Someday this will come true. Dream sponsors.
It's time again for Dream Sponsors. Products and businesses we endorse, and we're not even getting paid to do it.
Zilch, nada.
But if you want to hook us up,
we'll take it.
We'll take it. We're
right away
for endorsements.
Yes, any amount, 50 cents, $10. It's all the same to us. And we appreciate it.
Okay, Golda. So who is your dream sponsor for this week?
Well, my dream sponsor is very consistent with my way of eating, which is the low carb approach to eating, as well as I think ketogenic is one piece of it, but I think I'm slowly upticking on the carbs. So now it's because ketogenic is very minimal with the carbs, and low carb is like that next step. Not so strict.
Gotcha.
Right. Okay. So that in mind, with being ketogenic or low carb, you try to not eat a lot of or any sugar, and therefore you don't eat the traditional candy bars or cupcakes or, the way that you normally would make it.
I know it was you, Golda.
It was me.
Who ate my cupcake.
I'm going into way too much detail, showing that I didn't take
Actually, she went into the perfect amount of detail. But anyways, go on.
So my dream sponsor is Chalk Zero. That's the manufacturer. And the product is Keto Bark, which is milk chocolate almond bark.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So just so that you can order it off of Amazon, or you can go to Chalk Zero's website directly and order it there. But essentially they're like chocolate bars. but in a very manageable size. So for those of you who are on listening to this on audio, check out the YouTube. But they come in these individually wrapped. You want to take a look?
Yeah, individually wrapped small portion of chocolates. Yeah.
Yeah, and this particular one is milk chocolate flavored with almond bits. So it's like a little Hershey's bar. You know those Hershey almond bars?
Yeah.
It's kind of like that, but smaller, right? And they also have different flavors. They have dark chocolate as well. They have different types of nuts. So they have, I want to say what is that? Like that Nutella kind of nuts. What are those nuts called?
Hazelnuts.
Hazelnuts. They have that. And they have a variety of other flavors as well. And in terms of the nutrition facts, the total carbs on here is 11 grams for one. That said, there's also 8 grams of fiber in one bar. And when you think about how I think the recommended amount of fiber you're supposed to take as a woman is like 27 or 28 grams a day. This is 8 grams right here. So you minus the fiber to the carbs, 11 minus 8. What is that?
3.
3 grams of carbs in one versus if you were to get that Hershey bar.
Ooh.
That's like
23 grams of sugar straight up.
If not more, right?
Yeah.
So this is only 3 and then it satisfies your sweet tooth. And they're actually a very popular brand, Chalk Zero, within the low carb community. So check them out. Keto Bark, Chalk Zero, no sugar added, milk chocolate, 100% stone ground for improved texture, no sugar alcohols, non-GMO, made in the USA.
Awesome.
Really, really awesome.
Perfect.
I highly recommend it. Check it out. If you've got a sweet tooth and you're like, how can I be on low carb or keto? I love my chocolate. Try this and you'll get over yourself. Yeah, tough love. Anyway, that's mine. Chalk Zero, Keto Bark. What about you, Wanru? Who's your dream sponsor?
So, all this revealing of my sensual neck got me thinking.
And your elbows.
And my elbows.
That is high sex appeal.
Got me thinking about my neck, which is the most high maintenance part of my body. I will tell you. Like, I can sleep on most beds. I'm not picky, but I need a very particular pillow. I think it's because I have a scrawny neck and a big head in proportion. A lot of weight on it.
Okay.
Anyways, so I use a very specific Tempur-Pedic pillow. I talked about it in another dream sponsor, but I like the ones with a little hump on it. And so the most recent one I've been using has a kind of like a quilted cover. And I realized that I was rubbing my head on it all night. Like I toss and I turn and I rub my face and I kind of mess up my hair and scruff up my hair because I'm also a restless sleeper. I'm making myself sound like the most undesirable.
But your elbows are hot.
But my elbows are hot. My sleeping patterns are bad, but my elbows are sexy.
Stand back, fellas.
It's gonna be a long line out the door. Anyways, so I realized I felt like it was pulling the skin on my face and it was kind of like making my hair rough. So I said, okay, I love the pillow. The cover comes with it. You can't change it out. But maybe I could put something on top of it to make it smoother. Bingo.
Okay.
So I got these things called Betty Dain, Dain, Sleepwear Satin Pillowcase, which is available anywhere. You can buy it on Amazon. I got it at Bed Bath & Beyond.
Okay.
It's a zippered satin pillowcase. So it's nice because the zipper's on the inside.
Nice.
So that little hardware.
So it's not like sticking you
in the face.
Don't you hate that? The little zipper?
Yeah, exactly.
The pillowcase? Yeah.
And I put it over my whole pillow, over the quilted cover of my Tempur-Pedic pillow.
Okay.
And I feel like I can move my head and toss my head around all night now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I'm thrashing around and I'm not damaging my skin or damaging my hair.
Tell us a little bit about how your skin would get damaged.
Because I sleep on the side of my face and so my face is pressed up against the pillow and it's stretching it out. Because there's so much friction. Okay. Whereas with the satin pillowcase, it just glides over.
It glides over.
And then I start talking like Grace Kelly. I don't know why. I just satin pillowcases are so luxurious.
Like Catherine Hepburn.
Like Catherine and Grace Kelly and Catherine Hepburn. Like we've got lockjaw.
Oh, yes. Most British people talk like that, especially Kara Sedgwick.
Exactly.
Not Keira Sedgwick, Keira Knightley. You ever notice that Keira Knightley?
Not the woman married to Kevin Bacon.
No, the lady from Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yes.
And these other lesser known movies that I don't remember.
Yeah.
But her speech pattern is when her lips never touch each other. She always talks like this. Jack Sparrow, come here, Jack Sparrow. She never closes her lips. They never meet. You watch. Just watch.
Just watch.
You'll see. I'm not exaggerating. Anyway, so it's good for your
complexion. So if you feel like, I'm not waspy enough and my sleep is being disturbed by a rough, low-count cotton pillowcase, get yourself a Betty Dane sleepwear, zippered satin pillowcase, and you will wake up like a true blue blood, nose in the air, aristocratic, came off of the pilgrim ship, waspy, Grace Kelly.
Catherine Hepburn
Impersonator.
Because now I'm turning into Winston Churchill.
And those were our dream sponsors.
After another wonderful main topic discussion, we have found ourselves at the end of the episode. It always happens. Where all good things, right, must come to a close. So as we normally do, we normally ask each other what we are taking away from today's episode. So Wanru, what will you take away from today's episode of Body Language?
I will remember your story of the petite little woman who had the hand grip of those jaws of life things that people use to pry accident victims out of their car.
Yeah. That's useful in those scenarios. Or you're dangling from like a hot air balloon.
Oh, man.
Or you're dangling from a cliff.
Yeah.
And she's got you. That's when you want that.
You want that lady to be on your rock climbing team because she will grab you by your arm and never let go. And the indentation on your arm will be permanent, but your life will be saved.
What's a little nerve damage if she is able to save you from falling off a cliff?
Exactly.
Yes.
So great in the rock climbing scenario, horrible for the interview scenario. So what I took away from that is just be aware of how you're coming off to people. Because I'm sure if she looked at your face, she might have seen a little grimace of pain. Or something, a little clue, right?
Yes.
She could have read your body language and been like, oh, whoa, that's a bit much. I should just, loosen up on my grip, on my death grip.
Yeah, I mean, I would think that she would see that wincing and pain in my eyes. If anything, the reaction of me pulling my hand back to the side of my body. I don't think she read it.
And screaming silently in pain. That should have been a clue.
Yeah. Had she been more in tune with how to read body language and how to exude the proper body language, we wouldn't be talking about her today.
We would not be, yeah.
Yes. Well, wonderful. That's a good takeaway, if I do say so myself.
Very good. Thank you, Golda.
For me, what I'm taking away on a more serious note is your PSA about following your instincts in scenarios where you feel like you might be in a dangerous situation.
Yeah, trust your gut.
Trusting your gut. And also where I find that body language is helpful in those scenarios is reading the room, right? And reading the situation, being in tune and aligned with your own instincts. Marrying all those things together could save your life or put you out of harm's way. So that's something that I'm taking with me that I'll definitely be mindful of in any scenario, really, right? Not to just be overly cautious here, but I feel like, who cares? Let's be overly cautious.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't care what you think.
Exactly.
Right?
Better to be rude or overly cautious than to suffer the consequence for the rest of your life.
Yeah. So that's what I'll be taking away. Another wonderful episode in our archives now, feels like, for the offerings out there. So folks out there, thank you so much for joining us today for our episode on body language. If you enjoy today's episode, we would invite you to subscribe to us on every social media outlet out there, LinkedIn, Facebook. please subscribe to us there.
LinkedIn.
Oh, I'm sorry. What did I say? LinkedIn? Oh, I meant Instagram.
Instagram.
We're not
Facebook.
on LinkedIn. We're not so professional.
But once we get incorporated, Ganru Inc.,
Then we're all up in the LinkedIn.
We'll be
space.
up in there, yeah.
Yes. So please subscribe to us and share us and the show with all of your friends and family members. We tape each episode live, and you can watch us in all of our colorful springtime glory. Right? You could see how I did my eyebrows. You could see
how silky her hair looks today.
Yeah, Wanru actually did my hair today. She's the InStyle. She did a good job. Otherwise, I would look like a bird's nest.
No, it would not.
You could see all of that, what we're talking about right now.
I know it wouldn't look like a bird's nest. Golda, I'm being 100% truthful.
Bird's nests are made of branches, seeds, other animals. So you can watch us on YouTube, and you can share us on YouTube. Look for The Ganru Show.
Mm-hmm. And for those of you who are our podcast listeners, thank you so much. You can share and listen on Apple and Google Podcasts, Spotify, Overcast, Stitcher, and you can always ask your HomePod like Siri or Alexa to play us by saying, "Hey Siri, play The Ganru Show."
I think it's Alexa. You said Alexis like Alexis Carrington from Dynasty.
It's not Alexis.
No, it's not Alexis.
It's not Alexis. Okay.
It's Alexa, I think. But yeah, but you know, and she knows us, or they both know us as what?
The Ganru Show.
Yeah. So they don't know the Ganru, they know the Ganru. So we guarantee they'll pick it up if you say it like that. So until next time, thank you so much for listening and for watching us. As always, if you would like to reach out to us, you can reach out to us on email, in addition to all of our other social media accounts out there. Our email address is theganru@gmail.com. So until next time, I'm Golda.
I'm Wanru.
Thank you so much. We are The Ganru Show. We'll see you soon. Bye.